Hi there YouTube, Sad Womble here. I've been wondering if society is going to get bored with feminism. My reasons for this are really that as we know, the world is full of injustices. It just is. Every group feels they're hard done by. I myself, at 5'10", feel personally aggrieved that I will never be given the chance to be a great basketball player. How unfair is that? You know, just because I'm not 6'9", I'm never going to get a chance to be a basketball player. I live my life destroyed by that thought, as I'm sure you can tell. But the world's full of injustices, some of them completely stupid and irrational, like my sadness at not being a basketball player, and some completely justified. Can't think of any at the moment, but, you know. But the thing is, feminists, you gotta love them. Well, somebody has to, because I don't. Feminists see fault everywhere with everything, because everything is the fault of men. Everything is the fault of the patriarchy. I'm waiting for shop shelves in supermarkets are too high up. Which is clearly the patriarchy's fault and nothing to do with the fact that supermarkets want to put more stuff on their shelves and so have added an extra shelf. Clearly that's going to be a patriarchy issue. We will wait to see that one emerge. But the thing is, if you have a problem and it's a genuine problem and you target and you point it out to people, they'll go, oh yeah, and they'll do something about it. If you point out something that's not a problem and that no sane person will actually consider a problem, well, people will just start to ignore you. And I wonder if we're going to reach that point. Now, we're never going to shut feminism up. We're never going to shut feminists up. They will always keep going. And we're going to have to win the battle one feminist at a time. And it's going to take a long, long time. Because feminism is nothing to do with equality. We already have a word for that. It's called egalitarianism. Look it up. It's all about wanting people to be equal, which is what feminism claims. But any ism is usually about the thing that it's named after. Marxism follows the beliefs of Karl Marx. And it says, you know, the ideas of Karl Marx are the right way to go. And everyone else is wrong, and you should just do what Karl Marx said. Feminism, amazingly enough, suggests that everything that women say is right, and women can never be wrong, you know, and so it goes on. Anyone who's interested in a bit of reading might want to look up Marxism, because personally I think feminism and Marxism are, well, there's a link. There's a well-known link. Look it up on Google. Gotta love Google. I need a badge for that. Gotta love Google. I could see that coming. Anyway, I wonder if they're paying me for copyright. Doubt it. Too late now. But if you had, there's a television show called The Prisoner. Brief segue here, and they have characters in them. You know, it's a fight against good and evil, etc. You know, who are the warders and who are the prisoners, etc. But there's an episode where they refer to a group of people called jammers. Now, these are people who constantly file nonsense reports and keep the powers that be busy. And I thought feminists are just like jammers. Because what they do is they're saying, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, pointing all the time. You have to imagine me pointing each time I say that. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And, you know, if you point out 4,000 things that are wrong with the world, and they're all men's fault because men are just so evil and have set up the world. They have just set up the world just with the sole requirement of not only, you know, making it perfect for men. You know, I don't think war's quite perfect for men, but they've made the world perfect for men and absolutely unbearably shit for women. Because you know what? I kind of don't think the world would have lasted this long if we really had done that. But that's the view of feminists. Everything men have ever done in history has set the world up to make life shit for women. Yeah. Now, some things were a little bit crap. Don't deny that. But on the whole, women have had it pretty cushy. Whether they've wanted to have it cushy or not is a different matter. You know, we want to be able to fight and get killed. Okay, No problem. You want to do that? We can't do it at the moment. Okay, we'll change the laws so you can. Off you go. Here's a rifle. Go and shoot people and be shot. Rock on. You want to do that? That's fine. But on the whole, women have been able to do everything that men have been able to do, but they've not necessarily wanted to do it. You know, you don't get many women who want to be coal miners. You know? They're quite welcome to. I'm sure if a woman wanted to be in a coal mine and she reckoned she could do the same job, I don't see why they'd stop her. Anyway, I digress. But as we've been stopping women doing this, but like I say, if you point out something to someone and it is actually a genuine issue, people will just tend to pick it up and go with it. And you won't need to constantly remind people about it because people will see it for what it is and deal with it. But as feminists are constantly finding things that are wrong with the world and pointing them out, people are starting to get sick of it. I myself sort of hit that moment when it was the toy shop debacle. You know, you're putting toys now. You can't have a boys section and a girls section because that's reinforcing gender stereotypes. Do you know what? A stereotype is a stereotype for a reason. It's because that's what the genders want to do. You know, there's a stereotype that says, you know, all English people are reserved, have bad teeth and can't dance. And you know what? There are some English people over this side of the pond. I'm based in the UK if you hadn't guessed. There are English people on this side of the pond who have great teeth and can dance and aren't nervous, useless idiots. However, you know, as a stereotype, it kind of works. And that's because it has an element of truth in it. You know, girls are wired to nurture. Feminists aren't, but we won't talk about them because they don't really count as girls. And I use the word deliberately because I know it really annoys feminists. You know, girls are wired to nurture. So you know what? You give them nurtury stuff. And the reason you give toys have a purpose. The idea of a toy is to be preparation for later life. So you give a boy engineering type tools. You give him Bob the Builder tools and, you know, army weapons and cowboy hats and things to get him kind of geared up, ready to be a nice little disposable male and do, you know, engineering type, shooty type stuff. Women, girls, are meant to be nurtury types of people. So you give them dolls and dolls' houses and cookery sets, etc. They're kind of geared towards being girly. And makeup sets and things like that, because girls like makeup. Now, if you make these things gender neutral, you know what? Girls are still going to buy the girly ones, and boys are still going to buy the blokey ones. They just won't be on the same shelves. Therefore, what was the point? I want to buy a toy for little Dominic, and I've got 5 minutes to do it. Where am I going to go? Do I have to look through all the 27 aisles of toys in Toys R Us? Other toy shops are available. Or can I go to the boys bit and make life easy for myself? I've got to buy a toy for little Suzanne. Same comment. I've got 5 minutes to do it. Being a bloke, we don't tend to browse very quickly. I've got 5 minutes to do it. Can I narrow down my search a bit? That's why they put things on shelves. I mean, how long is it going to be before they say supermarkets have to do, you know, but, you know, you don't see supermarkets having, you know, not having any signs on any of the shelves, so you have to search the entire supermarket for your pot noodle. No, they have a little section called ready meals. What's wrong with having a section that goes, this is mainly for boys and this is mainly for girls? It's you know, there's nothing wrong with buying a girl a toolkit if that's what she wants to do. There's nothing wrong with buying a boy, you know, a pram and stuff, if that's what he wants. I'm not a reinforce the gender roles kind of person. That's what you want to do. And this is the point. Everyone is free to actually do what they want. Putting stuff in a particular place is simply an easy way to find it. That's all it is. But this is the thing. Feminists, to get back on topic, feminists seem determined to find problems where problems don't exist. And I do believe that over time people are going to get totally and utterly fed up with basically, if you just have problem, try saying that after 15 pints of Thuxton's or peculiar, people are just going to get bored with listening to these feminists. I mean, we have that problem here to an extent. You know, they don't get house room anymore. They don't get listened to as much as they used to. They're now on their little They have their little niche, and everyone kind of pats them on the head and gives them a bit of skip. And it's because they've done this to themselves. They've stood there and they've come out with their stuff. And some of it, early on, as I've said many times before, was relevant. You know, women having the vote. Now, we'll pass over the what do you give your society to get given the vote in return? I know in the US men have to agree to the draft and women don't. I'm putting that to one side for a moment. I do believe in a democratic society, everyone should have the right to vote. There's things behind it. That's not what I'm talking about now. I think everyone should have the right to vote. So that, I have no problem with feminists going crazy for that, getting it. Fair play to you. No problem at all. However, 98% of the stuff they come out with is just nonsense. And I do believe that this nonsense is because now there's this little core of truth and the rest of it is just noise. I think feminists are going to start to see them, are going to start to be seen as jammers, and people are going to look at them and go, yeah, they're banging on again. And then, of course, they'll see that. They'll see the fact that people ignore them as something to do with the patriarchy and the destruction. They'll say it's all men's fault that we're being ignored. And then you have to bring in the next element, which I'm going to do another topic on, which is same group preference, which shows that, you know, women basically always go on the side of women. Men also go on the side of women. They also go on their side as well, but men tend to go to the women's side. So men will look after everyone. Women will just look after women. And as more women get into positions of power, which is going to happen soon because we're getting all of these college graduated women. You know, they pushed out all the men now, so all the women again, they're going to have all this stuff starting to happen. And as these college-educated women start to get into positions of power, they are going to start to have to deal with this kind of nonsense. And I think they are going, on the one hand, they're going to say, yeah, it's got to do it for the sisters. But on the other hand, I think they're going to find that actually it's all a load of nonsense. But that's for another video. Sad Womble out.